Hello everyone, this is Fatin and I am going to do a book review on Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. Before I start, I would like to share a word from Anne Frank for her diary, which is, I hope I will be able to confide everything to you as I have never been able to confide in anyone, and I hope we will be a great source of comfort and support. In this video, I will be covering on the introduction and the plot of the diary, and then a review from me, and lastly, the conclusion. To start off, here is the synopsis of the diary. In July 1942, 13-year-old Anne Frank and her family, fleeing the horrors of Nazi occupation, went into hiding in an Amsterdam warehouse. Over the next 2 years, Anne vividly describes in her diary the frustrations of living in such confined quarters. This unbridged definitive text reveals Anne's innermost thoughts and feelings as she grows up, and provides a deeply moving true life story that comes to an abrupt and tragic end. Here is a picture of the house where Anne Frank and her family hid, and it is now made as a museum. About the author. Anne Frank was born in Frankfurt am Main in Germany in 1929. She is the author of The Diary of a Young Girl, which tells her own remarkable true story of a young Jewish girl against the backdrop of the horrors of the Second World War. Adolescent preoccupation and emotions are recorded alongside the growing powers of the Nazis and their imposition of anti-Jewish laws to create a compelling, poignant insight into family life under Nazi rule. Anne Frank moved to Holland with her family when the Nazis became powerful in Germany. The Nazis believed that some races such as Jews and Gypsies did not deserve the right to live, and they started to arrest, transport and kill them. Afraid for their lives, Anne and her family went into hiding. During the terrible time in hiding, Anne was growing from a young girl into a woman, and she recorded her thoughts and experiences in a diary. The constant fear of discovery, the conflicts with her mother, her emerging sexuality, and her hopes for the future. As the diary progresses, Anne's childish innocence is replaced by premature wisdom and reflection. She not only expresses her concerns with their personal sufferings, but also political events unfolding far from their hiding place. The family hid in the secret annex at the back of the warehouse from July 1942, but ultimately the word of their protectors was undermined by the action of Nazi collaborators and spies. In August 1944, they were discovered and taken to concentration camps. Anne died of typhus in 1945, imprisoned at Bergen-Belsen just a few months before her 16th birthday. Her diary, written between 12 June 1942 and 1 August 1944, was found after the war and later published by her father, Otto H. Frank, the only surviving member of the family. It has become a bestseller throughout the world and is an extraordinary piece of writing from such a young girl, detailing her emotional transformation from childhood to adolescence and reminding us of the horror of prejudice and persecution. So here are my review regarding the book. From what I have gathered after reading it, it shows the World War II from a young girl's perspective, and another from that, I also think that while war rages outside, Anne is a normal teen girl thinking at least as much about friends and how her parents annoy her as she does about issues of the day. Other than that, and also enjoyed writing and describing others. She was talkative and inquisitive and could be selfish sometimes. Thought the events within the diary offer only a glimpse of the horrors inflicted on Jewish people by the Nazis, there is a disturbing element of fear throughout. For example, the family is sitting around the radio listening to the news about the ongoing war. They are isolated from the outside world, especially Anne. She feels isolated from her family and friends, hiding in the secret annex. Even while all 8 of them are in the same room, Anne feels cut off from most of the people there, especially her mother. But Anne, she didn't always understand how difficult life was for her mother and the other adults around her. The most important message that I can interpret from what Anne Frank had written in her diary is that all people have the right to live in freedom. Anne's story shows us that just because people may be a different religion or race doesn't mean that they should be treated differently. The next message that I could get from this diary is being selfless. From the book, the sacrifice of one human being for another is perfectly portrayed here. It is the act of hiding people at the risk of your own life and giving of your food, living space, and friendship to spare the lives of people around you. So this book is recommended to anyone who has an interest in reading historical war or mystery book. Thank you everyone for giving your time watching this book review. Thank you.